The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
It's time for a crunch or two. It's time for a little something something. It's time for the Snack Authority. The Snack Authority. The authority on snacks. Snacks of all kinds. From the most common and wildly famous to the most obscure and unknown. The Snack Authority. Snacking all the time so you don't have to.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Snack Authority. We are PopCorners. That's what it says here anyway. Phil's here, Ed's here, and people are starting to travel again. Hopefully this pandemic's slowing down and people are starting to travel. When you travel, you'll notice at on the plane, if they're going to give you snacks back again, this may be one of the things. If you're on JetBlue,
it's
one of the big JetBlue thing, right?
It's not usually my choice.
Really? It is my choice.
Well, I've changed a little bit because you remember on JetBlue, they have the blue chips.
Yeah.
And originally it was pure blue chips.
Yep.
Now they're throwing in sweet potato mixed with the blue chips. And I don't want that.
Yeah. So I immediately went to that because I'm like, what's a blue chip? That's kind of grainy or whatever. And then they said, do you want the PopCorners? And it's not popcorn. And it's a cross between a popcorn and a potato chip or whatever. And we're having a conversation, me and the stewardess, and or waitress, as they hate to be called. And
Sky waitress.
Yeah. Excuse me, waitress. You usually get the look. And then I had it, and I said, wow, this is a good and this one maybe do one better. The crunch, the wholesome popcorn snack with sea salt, which is apparently nowadays better than regular salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you usually don't get that on the airplane. Usually you get the original,
Yeah.
I think it's like ranch or something.
Yeah.
That you get on the flight.
It is a simple thing in life that brings the most joy. We can't imagine doing one better, but with real sea salt, harvested directly from the Pacific Ocean, we prefer a finer grain and just slightly thicker than the salt air. So they make it seem like it's high end because it's sea salt.
Yeah.
It's no nuts, no dairy, no vegan, 110 calories. This is my go-to. What do you have on the plane?
That's pretty much. I like those.
Yeah.
And I usually fly JetBlue, so I honestly I like those. I'm a fan. You know what I mean? So
All right.
let's try them out.
Ed's being quiet over there, so he's having technical issues, I think. So
Things happen sometimes. But what can you do?
but we're going, right?
Oh, yeah. Everything is great. Ooh, there's a big crunch on that.
Yep.
So, PopCorners was founded by a guy named Zeke Alenick in Liberty, New York, under the name Medora Snacks.
Wow.
And it operates under BFY brands based in Middletown, New York. And, you know, BFY was acquired by a private equity company in 2015 named Medora. But in 2019, PepsiCo came calling and acquired BFY.
And they had the
brands.
payday. And if you go back to last week's episode, you'll see what that's all about.
Yeah, they got paid for their chips.
It got too popular. That's what seems to happen in the snack industry. Somebody ends up being big, they get overtaken. Can't let you grow it.
These are good though.
Little styrofoamy
Yeah.
with salt.
Yeah.
And I say that in a positive way.
Yeah.
It seems a little more toasty than the original.
Right.
Toastier.
Yeah. You can see it's a lot darker.
Yeah.
You know.
Cooked a little longer. They seem to be a healthy snack.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're better for you than like Doritos.
Well,
They say baked, never fried.
Let me tell you, PopCorners differ from traditional chips, crisps, and corn chips because they're not fried.
Yeah.
Instead, they use a patented proprietary popping technology to create a popped corn product. This was first launched in 2008.
Wow.
So it's not that old
No.
of a snack.
And they pop it, yet it comes into a perfect triangle.
I don't know how that happens. It's proprietary. They can't tell you. They'd have to kill you. They are somewhat tasty, but I get the styrofoamy thing.
Yeah. Would you want to
Like a
dip these into peanut butter?
rice
Melted
cake.
peanut butter? Rice cake,
Rice cake.
right?
Well,
Thin rice cake, you nailed it. Phil, you nailed it. That's what we got here. We got a thin rice cake, the edge of an overcooked rice cake.
Yep.
And that's how they do it. The way rice cake does it.
Huh.
So this would be great. Like not this.
The
flavor.
rice cake
Maybe-
people should do rice cake chips
Right.
or circles, and then they go. Then they'll have one of the big boys buy them out.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have another pandemic snack story. This is sort of the nature of our news right now
Yeah.
because they're not really launching a lot of new products.
Right.
Not so much because people aren't snacking, but a lot
Snacking
of the
more than ever.
factories aren't open, or I think we did a story before where some of the companies were shutting down their special edition stuff to
Right.
focus on
To fill the orders.
to fill the orders. But they say people's snacking habits have changed during the course of the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, people snacked between meals or as a meal replacement. During the early days of the pandemic, consumers gravitated towards comfort snacks. That makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of those were going on. But as the pandemic continued, people became more conscious about their diet after they gained their COVID-20.
Right.
And they started shifting more towards some healthier snacking. But the other big thing is that with people at home, and you probably noticed this, a lot more home baking going on. A lot of people were making their own snacks, essentially. You know, breads and cookies and who knows what.
Yeah.
So,
Bad time.
yeah.
If you think about it, they say people don't spend time in the kitchen anymore. A lot of takeout and fast food and pre-made meals and all this stuff. That's because both parts of the family are working. Now they haven't been, and they went back to cooking, including the guys on the grills and all. You see all the barbecue things that are going on out there and stuff. So what happened is we evolved and we ran out of time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's what happened.
Work gets in the way. Of
Yeah.
everything.
You know, the next story, I tried to get some of these, but I was unable to. And maybe you'll tell me it sounds horrible anyway. We'll see. Holiday cinnamon tortilla chips were released to celebrate Christmas in July.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's sort of a sweet tortilla. I think some Mexican restaurants do a kind of a sweet cinnamon sugar tortilla.
You can do what's the name of that company? They kind of like the bagel chips. They got like a cinnamon tortilla. You get it when you go to like I think Texas Roadhouse or Tuckaway Tavern has the dipping sauce
Oh,
with the
yeah.
cinnamon. It's really good.
Oh, yeah, you
Really
could.
good.
Yeah, just do it on the, instead of making a chip that way, the dip
Right.
could become that.
So it probably has that kind of churro vibe to
Right,
it.
right, yep,
That
except
people
flat,
dip
yep.
those in
You know,
chocolate.
do you know that Cinnamon Crunch cereal now has a churro? Cinnamon
What
Crunch,
would be different about it?
maybe the shape of it or whatever, but it's like that anyways,
I
right?
guess, yeah, you could make it. different
And
shape.
it says on the package, I actually took a picture of it to send you also because I thought of that. That's funny you mentioning that. And it says, great as a snack. And I looked at that and said, I'll be the judge of that.
We'll have to try to get our hands on some
Yeah.
of those.
Isn't that something that
Because, I mean, that's been ongoing, a whole discussion of whether cereal is a snack or not.
Yeah. It could be. I think it could be.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
Cinnamon Toast Crunch churros, bite-sized pieces, makes the perfect snack, exclamation point. I don't know about that, but anyway, it is General Foods.
Yep.
And the question to you was going to be, is this a snack? Can we incorporate this into the...
I'd say yes. You know what I think the distinction is? If we reach into that box and just start eating them, that's a snack. If you go to the trouble of pulling out a bowl, pour it in there, and put milk on it, then it becomes more questionable.
So somebody told me, one of my friends told me, try this. So you take the bowl that you're going to eat the cereal with.
Yeah.
You take the bag of cereal, put it in the freezer. Right?
Okay.
Leave the milk in the refrigerator. I thought it was crazy too. Then when you pour that milk into that cold bowl, it's like just like ice cold. I'm blown away by it. I haven't tried it.
Like a frosted beer mug concept?
Yeah, pretty much.
With cereal.
With cereal.
But would the cereal do anything in the freezer? It has no moisture content, right?
No, just change the temperature of it.
Just make it cold.
So
but we'll try it. We'll report back to you because, hey, if there's a reason to try something.
What is it, like little cereal ice cubes almost?
Yeah, you just, the bowl and then the cereal inside the freezer and then that's it. But going back to those things, churros with the, like a frosted cinnamon bun frosting with those churros. Would be good. Would be a good snack and dipping thing.
Yeah, you have that white glutinous sugar.
So good.
That's what you eat.
Here's my take on these PopCorners. I like them, but I don't want to eat a lot of them. I sort of get sick of the texture.
A bag or two on the plane while you're sitting there for 3 hours, 4 hours, fine. Did I ever buy a bag for home? No.
Yes.
You have?
Many times.
Because it is always my go-to on the plane, but never did I ever buy a bag at home.
Well, I try to do the healthy thing. I'll be like, tell the wife, I'll be like, yeah, I grabbed that. And then the week later, I'm eating Doritos again. So it's kind of hit or miss. You know what I mean? But I do.
Yeah, because if you look at that bag, I could take down that sized bag of potato chips with no problem.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to eat all of those.
Right.
They're just not that good.
This is the interesting thing. On the front of it, it says only 3 ingredients. And I look in the back, and there's only 3 ingredients. Yellow corn, sunflower oil, and sea salt. That's it.
Man, that
3 ingredients. You never see that.
No.
That proprietary process must be like magic, huh?
It's unbelievable. And if you look at all the stuff like the vitamins and calcium, 0, nothing. It's got nothing but sodium. It's got carbohydrates because it's corn and fat. But that's it. Serving size is 1 ounce, 20 chips.
A little bit of sugar from the corn or no?
They don't have any sugar. They don't mention it, but maybe it's a little sweet because of the corn.
What's the sodium content?
It is 8. Yeah. 190 milligrams. It does seem like it's 110 calories for 20 chips. That's probably what you're going to get in one of the bags.
The bags are small. I bet you don't even get 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, on the
plane. JetBlue bag.
Yeah. There's not many in there. That's why you got to grab a whole handful.
Might get a dozen in a JetBlue bag, but I'm with you, Dave. I think I'm going to limit my snacking of these to the airplane. I just don't need to bring them in.
Nothing wrong with it, but it seems like you're kind of eating healthy until you get off the plane and you blow up from being up there and have all the sodium that you ended up having.
Yeah, dehydrated.
Which plane flights and stuff like that. I'm asking the airlines to step it up. If you're going to start including snacks and stuff, talk to us. Get our opinion of what it is. Right. Make it a treat when you fly and not something that tastes like cardboard with salt on it and styrofoam. Let's step it up on the airplanes and let's step it up on the Snack Authority. Write to us. Let us know what you want to do on the Snack Authority. We'll try it. Go to the snackauthority@gmail.com. That's the snackauthority@gmail.com. Let us know. And in the meantime, we'll see you next week with another spicy episode.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.